Welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to the show.
And now, your hosts of the Card Subject to Change podcast, the For Frequency's Sake Tag Team Champions of the World, the Wizard CZ, and Never Wrong Nick Bull.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Card Subject to Change podcast, the podcast by the fan, for the fan. Of course, I'm Never Wrong Nick Bull, one of your hosts. We'll get to my co-host here in a second, but we are, of course, powered by Lopez Pizza, built by Durham Remodeling, colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo, and protected by Jared Zook of Country Financial. We want to thank them right off the top. Without them, we could not be doing this, but we may look a little different today. We're kind of giving you a peek behind the curtain here. Of course, I'm Never Wrong Nick Bull. Joining me as my co-host, we are the co-champs of the For Frequency's Sake Tag Team Championship Network. It's a very busy week for us. We'll get to that in a little bit. Regardless, we're glad you're here. I'm so glad he's here. This show doesn't run without him. He is the one. He is the only. He is the Wizard CZ. Wiz, how you doing, bud?
Man, I'm feeling good, and we are broadcasting. I'm gonna just give you a peek. We are recording now and showing this later. So if you're watching live, we're not talking. You're talking to us. I'll probably see the comments later, but we're not going to be responding to direct comments because we're not live. But we are here in the fabulous Highview Lounge and Studios, and I'm happy to be here, man. This is exciting.
Yeah, a little peek behind the curtain here. We're kind of getting set up, a little trial run here of how we wanted to get our production set up for our show coming to you Saturday night. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit. We have a show coming Saturday night. You know, I don't know, why is there an empty chair?
It's not because I didn't bathe. I did bathe.
He did. He does not smell bad. I can smell him, and he doesn't smell bad. The fact of the matter is this chair will be filled Saturday night when we do an immediate reacts after night one of WrestleMania. But today it stays empty. We had a guest. We had a guest for the show, and we're not throwing him under the bus by any means. This guy is a wanted man in a wanted business, and CZ and myself could not be happier for him. This guy is in demand this weekend. He's going to be on the biggest indie wrestling show of WrestleMania weekend. He's the one called Manders. We had been in contact with Manders for a few months about doing a show right before WrestleMania. This was before the Zack Sabre Jr. match was announced.
Yes.
So we were in talks with him. This was before he went over and won the 16-karat gold championship in the West Side Extreme Wrestling organization over in Germany.
And
this is
now
before
the actual champion.
Yep, and this is before he won the WXW championship.
And you can see a great image of him with that WXW championship right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Manders and I had been talking back and forth for a couple of months, and I knew going into it that this was going to be a busy time for him. I knew it was going to be questionable whether we'd get him on, so we had a plan B in place, and that's what we're here, the plan B. And that plan B, I'm just going to pull the Band-Aid off right now. WrestleMania the Opera, as presented to you by Never Wrong Nick Bull.
Here we go. No, you tossed me that idea. I'm like, I cannot. The brain ain't working. I'll talk wrestling all day, but I don't know if I could break out an opera. But we're going to call it a mixed bag of sorts.
Yes.
WrestleMania mystery gift bag or mystery grab bag. We're going to talk everything WrestleMania week. Not as much WrestleMania, but WrestleMania week. And kind of break down what we're looking forward to, kind of break down what to watch as we head in here. We're less than a week away from WrestleMania. I mean, I don't know what it was the night of Royal Rumble when Jay won, and they flash up how many days it was until WrestleMania. Because I'm not going to lie to you, last weekend felt like WrestleMania weekend.
Yes.
This weekend
it's so much later.
It's so much later. It just throws you off. So we're less than a week away with night one on Saturday night. So we're in the home stretch here. Very exciting week. Of course, it's Sunday. You're here. You're watching us. Card subject to change. The Wizard CZ, never wrong, Nick Bull. We're happy you're here. And this is a big time for us. This is like the lead up to Christmas. This is the biggest week of wrestling. If you're
Christmas, if you will.
Christmas, if you will, if you're a wrestling fan. So this is a big deal. If you're a wrestling fan, big time. A lot of stuff going on, and you want to choose and spend your time wisely, both with what you're watching and who you're spending it with. So,
right.
Wise
there's
tips.
A lot going on.
Absolutely. Where do you want to start?
Man, let's just get right into it. We talked about Manders off the top. You and I, for the last couple of years, we've been really into the collective with GCW. Few shows we're going to highlight, but the biggest match outside of WrestleMania that I am looking forward to, and not just because we're friends with Manders, but because I'm a fan of both of these gentlemen in the ring, is Manders, the one called Manders, taking on Zack Sabre Jr. at Joey Janela's Spring Break.
Yeah. If you would have told me this a year ago, I would have been, really? That's what's going to happen? Like, mine would have been blown. Because about a year ago, Zack Sabre Jr. had that amazing match with Bryan Danielson in Ring of Honor. It was just a technical masterpiece. And you knew it was going to be a technical masterpiece. I have a feeling this match, Zack Sabre Jr., who is one of, if not the best technical wrestler in the business today. He tries to keep this a scientific and technical match. Meanwhile, Manders is going to do all he can to make all hell break loose.
Oh, yes.
To get his upper edge. So I am excited for this match. Yes, I can be biased. It's my podcast. It's his podcast. It's our podcast. We can be biased and happy for our friend, but we are definitely looking forward to the one called Manders, a guy we've seen wrestle in Iowa City and Bluegrass and Walcott, among other places. A guy who always remembers you and says hello, gives you a hug, a hearty handshake, and no matter what, always has time for you.
Yes. And
we are so happy and pumped for him. And then I remember when I found out about this match, CZ, I just sent you the graphic. I didn't even send you, hey, I heard about this. I just sent you the graphic. I did a double take to make sure it wasn't a spoof account or where it came from. But I simply couldn't believe it. Now, listen, we've always believed in Manders, but I think now with this match, yes, he's a veteran of GCW. It's not his first GCW show.
Right.
But I think a opponent of this magnitude, an opponent that's this respected by so many and works in so many places all over the world, and Manders gets his chance at him. It says a lot about where Manders, what he's done. He puts in the work, where he's come from, what he's going to do. But this has got to be the biggest match of Manders' career, in my opinion.
Has to be.
And all for good reason. It's part of Joey Janela's Spring Break. I believe it's 9, right? Spring Break 9.
I'd have to look. I believe.
Not a big deal. It's spring. It's the Friday night show for GCW as part of the collective. But what did you think? What were your thoughts when this came up about Manders and taking on Zack Sabre Jr.?
Well, I think I know I was by myself when I got the graphic, but if I had been with anybody, they would have seen like the cartoon wolf looking at the hot lady with the eyes bugging out. That would have been me. My jaw dropped, my eyes bugged out. I've always been a big Zack Sabre Jr. fan, and I've always been a big fan of what Manders brings to the table in the ring and out of the ring. Like Nick was talking about, this match is going to be for the ages. If you're an independent wrestling fan, if you don't have Triller TV, you can get a free trial if you have never had it before. We are not shills for Triller TV by any means. They're not sponsoring us. We have nothing to do with them. Get it for the collective. You won't be disappointed. There are tons of good shows. We're going to highlight a few of them. This match in particular, I'll just tell you right now, it's going to happen while SmackDown is on. So the Go Home to SmackDown is going to be going on right around the same time.
Yeah, you have that's the glory. That's the greatness of today's technology. You can pick one and just go watch the one immediately. It'll record, or you can go back and watch it. So yeah, it will air during SmackDown, the Go Home for WrestleMania, and I'm sure that Go Home SmackDown CZ is going to have some big time matches because there's going to be some people left off the main card.
I know the Andre is part of that.
And the Andre is part of that. So choose wisely. Choose what you're going to enjoy, what you want to see live. And I know what I want to see live. And I'm going to be being very biased. I can be, but I'm going to watch, the Janela Zack Sabre Jr. match live. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to read about it. I can live if I read about the rest of those. But this one I wouldn't be able to with a friend of the show like Manders having possibly the biggest match of his career up until this point. He's got big matches ahead, but this one is definitely a big one. Let's talk about what else sticks out to you on that card for Joey Janela's spring break.
Well, you have the card pulled up, I believe.
Yep.
I have looked at it briefly. I have not. While Nick finds his phone,
listen
a little bit.
The cushions of this chair will take your soul if you're not careful. As they just took my phone, they're relentless.
I will say before you bring up the card, one last thing.
Absolutely.
Cowboy, if you're watching, we appreciate you. We love you. Good luck this week, and good luck with everything you have going on. Thank you for considering coming on with us. That's the last thing I'm going to say. Manders, we love you. But let's get another look at that card. What other matches do we have, Nick?
For Joey Janela's spring break number 9. Of course, we talked about the aforementioned Zack Sabre Jr. versus the one called Manners. It's just a special singles match. GCW does some interesting things, and I've never seen this, and I'm gonna see one. They are they're having a senior scramble match.
Oh, okay.
A senior scramble match. The participants, the likes of Doug Gilbert, Wildfire Tommy Rich, Ricky Morton, the Warlord, George South, and Mike Jackson.
Okay, that's a hell of a lineup.
The senior scramble match.
Can I just? Whoa, that was not good. This chair almost ate me alive.
Yeah,
you all saw it. This chair almost ate me
my
alive.
chair is trying to eat my soul, and that chair just about took your life.
So you mentioned a lot of great names. I'll talk about the one Ricky Morton, who has been on the indie scene a lot now, at his age, doing a lot of spectacular things, and I cannot see him walking out of that match without the win, in my opinion.
Yeah, I have no idea what the senior scramble enthralls, but the Warlord on a card on the week of WrestleMania 41, how surreal. I'm looking forward to that. They're having a single match for the Jersey Championship Jersey Championship World Championship. Your current champ, Masha Slamovich, taking on Suzu Suzuki. We have a 6-man tag of Los Desperados, Perez, Gringo Loco,
All
I'm a
right.
fan of, and Jack Cartwheel, taking on the Wagner family, Dr. Wagner Jr., El Hijo del Wagner, Dr. Wagner Jr., and Galeno del Mal. We have a mask versus anything career anything goes match.
Okay.
So I'm sure this one's already going to be better than the Jericho Bandito match. But it's Atticus Kogar's career versus Fuego del Sol's mask.
That's a big one.
Very big one.
Now, you mentioned it being better than the Jericho Desperado match. They really didn't set the bar that high, though. So I think pole vaulting over it is going to be easy for those two.
Very much so. Here's a match on the card that merits some discussion time here. Singles match: Gabe Kidd versus Mance Warner.
Oh my! I'm looking at you, but I'm looking right next to you at your.
If you
your
can
Mance
see off
Warner
camera,
picture.
my buddy, that effing Mark, Jeremy, got this at the Royal Rumble weekend in Indianapolis, I believe, for me. And it's 2 Never Wrong, Nick Bull from Mance. And it hangs proudly here in the High View, but Mance against Gabe Kidd. Going to do some things on that show. Your main event in this match, I'm not going to list every man. There's 10 matches on the card. This is Sabu's retirement match.
Okay.
So I believe Sabu was supposed to go into the Hall of Fame last year for GCW. He no-showed the event, even though it was in the same hotel. They have made amends. GCW and Sabu, that is. And in the main event, it is a no-rope barbed wire match between Sabu and the aforementioned Joey Janela, your host of Joey Janela Spring Break 9.
Awesome. There are no words, because that match is just going to be exactly what you signed up for. It's going to be brutal.
Yeah, I'm not the big deathmatch guy by any means, but Sabu and ECW was fine with me. He has told GCW's owner-operator, President Brett Lauderdale, that this will surpass any barbed wire match he ever did in ECW. So that alone, stay tuned. Sabu's going to go out with a bang. We hope that he makes it through his match. Hope he makes it through safe, both participants. But that's the big show on Friday night. That'll be going head-to-head with SmackDown. So choose wisely. Definitely, that's a show I'll be watching live and going back and watching SmackDown later.
Yes, I completely agree. I will touch on GCW is hosting the WWE ID Championship matches on Wednesday. I believe it's Wednesday. I'm going to triple check that, but I know we didn't talk about mentioning that. I just want to kind of breeze by.
Is that on the Collective?
Loosely part of the Collective. It's not on the official Collective because the Collective goes Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
No, but it's on. Is it on? We'll be able to watch it.
We'll be able to watch it on Wednesday.
Excellent. That'll be cool.
Well, I don't know if we'll be able to watch it live on Wednesday because we'll be a little busy. We'll get to that in a little bit.
We're going through our calendar this week. It's the WrestleMania mystery gift bag or grab bag, cleaning out our car episode. We're gonna clean out everything and talk everything WrestleMania week. What's going on each day, not only for us but for the fans. What matches to see, what matches not to miss. Yada yada yada. Go ahead, CZ, because I got to take a sip.
I'll let you take a drink, but you have the next card as well that I want to talk about. But I will preface this by saying one of your favorites is going to be on this card, in Charlie Dempsey.
Oh, for sure.
WWE has partnered. This will be the second year where they've not partnered. That's not necessarily the right word, but where they've had a presence at Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. Charlie Dempsey is going to be there this year. Shayna Baszler was there last year, I believe. Was Natalia in that one, or is she coming up in this one?
She's coming up in this one. There are multiple WWE talents on the Bloodsport card this year. Multiple. I count just offhand at least 6, and we'll go through and check them out. But this is something. If you're not familiar with Bloodsport, it is, they take the ropes off the ring. It's a match. Win is by knockout or submission. There's some legit knockouts.
Yep.
And it's just different styles. Those are the rules. And I know Bloodsport has a bad name. You think of it, but it's not. It's not 2 people out there in a bloodbath every match by any means.
When I first heard the name Bloodsport, that was my initial thought.
Because I told you got to see this event. It's cool.
It sounds like a deathmatch show.
Right.
But completely not. Some great grappling, some great technicians in there. It's worth seeing. It's a fight. But it's not a let's see how many chairs we can wrap with barbed wire and how many people can bleed 9 million buckets of blood type of brutal.
Right. It's not like that at all. It's not like that at all. I'll just mention a few matches here in regards to the WWE talent that's involved. And let me say this. Props to these WWE talent, knowing full well, hey, I'm not going to be on the Mania card. What can I do Mania weekend? Get eyes on me, eyes on our product, still look good in the company's eyes, and go out. A lot of WWE people are starting to do this blood sport event.
Yep.
I think this will be like Dempsey's second, third, or fourth time. It's one of those two. But kick off here. This is very interesting to see how far a year goes and what happens in a year. Excuse me, I was burping there. Natty Neidhart was a spectator at last year's Bloodsport event in Philadelphia during WrestleMania weekend. This year, she has herself a match against Mayu Yamashita. So I'm not going to sit here and be able to break down this fight by any means, but it's interesting to see what happens when pro wrestlers are in there with it's a real fight. And these guys and gals, they can take care of themselves.
Yes.
They're not getting their butts kicked by any means. In fact, I would say it's probably like 60-40 that they win. So that they're athletic, they're tough. It's just not what you would expect, and it's very interesting to watch. Here is a matchup of a current WWE guy against a former WWE guy. Pete Dunne versus Timothy Thatcher.
I knew that's who you were going to say was Timothy Thatcher.
Pete Dunne and Timothy Thatcher is a veteran of the Bloodsport game. Pete Dunne, I know has some fighting in his background. I'm not sure what style, what class, but those two going at each other, come on, that's going to be good.
Sign me up.
Let's mention here Charlie Dempsey against Shinya Aoki. Once again, I know nothing about Shinya Aoki, but I know Charlie Dempsey will mix it up and fight. So that's 1, 2. I'm not counting Timothy Thatcher. He's a current WWE.
Right.
Stars on this card so far. 1, 2, 3. We got Micah versus Carmen Petrovic.
Okay.
So there's 4.
Petrovic, that is the katana wielding
NXT. Yep. We've got J.R. Kratos versus Karrion Kross.
All right.
There's another WWE name. Zack Sabre Jr., who we talked about just a little bit ago on a podcast. If you want to go back and listen about Zack Sabre Jr., we just talked about him. He's in Bloodsport. He's taking on Jonathan Gresham.
Okay.
Shayna Baszler has a match versus Konami. Tavian Heights of the No Quarter Catch Crew. The No Quarter Catch Crew has 2 singles matches on this.
That's amazing.
That's cool. Tavian Heights taking on Royce Isaacs. And your main event is Josh Barnett taking on Gabe Kidd.
Okay.
So this is Thursday night. So this will take place before Joey Janela's spring break. So a lot can happen. A lot of these guys are working double-digit shows this weekend for multiple indies. So there's a lot that can go on. So as always, the card is subject to change, right, CZ?
That's it.
But did you have any thoughts, any more thoughts on Bloodsport or any thoughts about any of those matches?
I mean, Gabe Kidd is all over the place. Saw him for the first time myself during the weekend in Japan at the beginning of the year, the Tokyo Dome, Wrestle Kingdom, and what was it? Wrestle Dynasty, is that what they called it?
It was something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Saw him for the first time there. I'm anxious to see what more he can do. No, I think that's got a good lineup to it here. What do you want to talk about next?
Oh. No, I don't know. No. I am going to say this real quick. We are Subject to Change podcast by the fan for the fan. We're powered by Lopez Pizza. We're built by Durham Remodeling. We're colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo. And we're protected by Jared Zuka Country Financial. I can't believe I can do that. Usually, I'm going to let you behind the curtain here. I read it on the screen every time I do it. And right before we went on the air, I looked over at CZ, and I don't know if he could read my look or not, but I was like, "Oh crap, I can't read what the." But we know our sponsors. We're appreciative for them. We're breaking down WrestleMania week for you, not necessarily the show, but the week of WrestleMania. What shows you need to see, what shows you need to watch. We've talked about so far. GCW Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. That is Thursday at 7.
6.
At 6.
No, I have the collective.
Yeah, take a look there. Take a look there.
Let me go.
Before we talked about the Bloodsport show,
7.
It's at 7 o'clock on Thursday is Bloodsport. And then we talked about, before that, we talked about Joey Janela's Spring Break with our good friend, pal, friend of the show, Manders on the card. That is on Friday at what time, CZ?
That is on at 6 on Friday.
6 on Friday. So it'll come on an hour before SmackDown. So you can get a feel for it if you like it or not. And if you don't like it, don't stay on it. But that's what's going on. That's what we've broken down so far. What other show is hopping out at you?
Well, I know. I don't think either of us pulled up the card for this one, but I know one that really trips your trigger, and that is the. Let me get the name right. The Joey Janela Spring Break Clusterfuck Forever.
Yeah, I'm going to try and look up some past events here. Can you hear me okay as I do this? Because
yes.
Yeah, okay. Joey Janela's.
While you look that up, I need to stand up because I'm sitting on the edge of this chair that's going to eat me, and I am uncomfortable. So I'm going to stand, and I apologize. But
anyways, there is no explanation other than this is the show you need to see.
Look at that, my head.
I want you to start singing, "We are the world.
We are the children."
There you go. There you go. What I'm trying to say is Joey Janela's Cluster F Forever is a show that's on after Mania Night 1. I had a friend tell me about it last year. I had never seen one before. Last year after Mania Night 1, we did a show. I flipped it on. There's a Punjabi prison match on a GCW show. And then there was...
Now, I know what you're thinking. Punjabi prison match. WWE did not really do them very well, depending on which match you're looking at. They weren't well received. This one was pretty good.
This one was pretty good. You need to go back and watch it. And on top of that, there is the Cluster F Rumble, which had like, I don't know, I think it was over 80 participants last year. And it's people past, present, in wrestling. It's unbelievably funny. If you're looking for technical, looking for your stars, that's not the match to watch. If you're looking to relax, laugh, and have a good time, that's a show I look forward to after watching it for the first time last year. That's a show we'll have on in the background as we will be live on Saturday night, immediately following night 1 of the show of shows, WrestleMania. Myself, the Wizard CZ, and Joe the Show Winkle, we will be breaking down night 1 of WrestleMania, the show of shows from Vegas. We'll do that Saturday night. We'll be doing it right here, just like this. But yeah,
of course, Joe will be right.
Joe, we'll be having the show sandwich,
and we're the bread. Card substitute change bread.
I'll have to. You know what? I'll have to have Joe sit down, and then I'll get some butter out and start putting butter on. No, we're looking forward to that. But back on this, those are the big indie shows I'm looking forward to this weekend. I know there's so much going on. I know there's a couple other promotions involved with GCW as a part of that collective, like DDT Pro and whatnot. But it's a fun and exciting time as a wrestling fan to not only enjoy the culmination of WrestleMania, but everybody who's anybody is in Vegas. Why aren't we in Vegas this upcoming week? Why aren't we in Vegas?
Because the tribal chief did not get us credentials.
We could have been in Vegas. I seen there was a ticket that was for $160 still available for both nights, but it is in the extreme nosebleeds. You know what? Why not?
DJ,
Say you win
are
it.
you listening?
Maybe next year we do this show overlooking the strip from our suite.
Okay.
Goals.
Goals.
I'm trying to manifest it here, but yeah, anybody is in Vegas this upcoming week, and Vegas is a very interesting town, the entertainment capital, but Vegas also has some other tie-ins to the wrestling world. As this past week on Peacock, this past week it was on Friday. It debuted as we record here on Sunday. WWE put out a show called Becoming a Spectacle or Becoming the Spectacle. And it's behind the scenes of WrestleMania 9.
Yes.
And this was the first WrestleMania that we learned that WWE ever did behind the scenes stuff. They shot this on purpose. For what purpose, they didn't know. They never had an intended project. They just wanted to do it. And thankfully, we get to see the project. And we'll talk about the documentary here for a little bit, but I want you to talk about your thoughts and what you thought about it.
I mean, really cool. You can tell that it was a different time because the wrestlers both being interviewed after the fact and while the cameras were on there, they didn't know what the hell's going on. They didn't know what the hell's going on. Why is there a camera in my face? Kayfabe was still very real, brother. But yeah, they're wondering why this camera is there when this doesn't usually happen, and such a treat that they did this because this was the first time that they've really gone behind the scenes. It took them over 30 years to get it to us, but I'm not complaining. Another first with WrestleMania 9, this was the first one where they really went all out and had like a theme, a set piece. They turned, Bruce Pritchard says it quite often in the documentary, they turned a parking lot into the Roman Coliseum.
They did, and they did an outstanding job. And I know, hindsight, this Mania is not like looked back or looked upon as one of the all-time greats, but to me, I got a special memories of it because my neighbors had gotten it or got a hold of a copy, one or the other, and they made me a copy on VHS. And I watched that show 2 to 3 times a day for months. I absolutely loved that show because I didn't have cable at the time. It was a WrestleMania, a lot of fun stuff, cool stuff on it. I mean, the Roman Coliseum theme is right. Like, that's the WrestleMania that took the next step, in my opinion. Kind of like, you still see WrestleMania 9 and things with how the production and over the top of it is. And it's supposed to be a carnival. It's supposed to be a circus. And, wrap up all that in one. It's supposed to be a show. It's entertainment. And that was really the show that took it to the next level. It was, it put themselves out there per se in doing so.
Yeah.
And kind of like the standard now moving forward in the business. And it's looked back upon. There's other reasons why it's looked back upon. How Hogan kind of bullied his way back into the world title picture after being gone.
Brett. Brett, after watching this, I feel so bad.
I'm a Brett guy, Are you a Brett guy or a Sean guy? And I'm a Brett guy, so I'm a little biased, but I'm going to believe what Brett says. Brett's story has always stayed the same. Brett's story's never changed. And that's what we'll go with it, and I've got a hard time with the whole Hogan beefcake story and the injuries because I don't think Hogan was hit by a jet ski.
No.
If he was hit by a jet ski a little over 24 hours before that match,
going as fast as he claims that it was,
he would be laid up in a hospital.
Yes.
And they play the clip on the documentary of Macho Man like, someone knows what happened and it isn't saying. I think Macho Man popped. I think Macho Man hit him with a 1-2.
He knows exactly what happened.
He knows what happened. But yeah, that's part of the documentary as well. So much going on in the WWE at time as WWE tried to take the next step forward.
And on that note, if you have watched the documentary, by all means, give us your thoughts on Hulk Hogan and whether he was hit by a jet ski or whether the Macho Man Randy Savage yeah, popped in one, brother. But give us your thoughts on the documentary as a whole. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely recommend watching it.
I mean, I can't get off this topic because they talked about Brutus's parasailing accident.
Yep.
That was July of 90. Okay. April 93 was Mania 9, and Brutus was still trying to protect his face. Hogan's accident was 24 hours earlier and had no protection on his face.
Hogan just didn't.
There's no way. There's no way. Macho Man duped him a couple times in the face. He had it coming, and rightfully so. There's no way Hulk Hogan got hit in the face with the tip of a jet ski that was going 70 miles per hour, brother. The math doesn't work out, brother. The face does not show that, brother. He would be in a hospital.
And one thing that stood out, we talked about Bret and Hogan muscling his way back into the title picture. Hogan legit in the documentary talks about going into the doctor's office, McMahon telling him he's not going to wrestle until he passes his physical, telling the doctor, "Oh yeah, this is all makeup, brother. This is all makeup. It's all work. We're going to make it look like Savage beat me up. So you got to clear me." And the doc signed his.
Right. Something I learned watching this. I learned a lot of things watching it. In fact, I'm on my third time watching it. Yes, am I, Mark? Yeah, I am.
I've watched it twice.
I'm on my third time through because I've learned something each time I've watched it. I'm just interested by the talent that's there at the time and how they all interacted. This is when Bret and Shawn still got along, and there's just an overlapping of talent and the generations. And this is just kind of cool to see the whole behind the scenes thing.
Yes.
And to look back at it now, I also noticed this is the first WWE production that we've seen with Vince in it post lawsuit.
Yes.
Post Vince McMahon documentary on Netflix.
Yes, it is. And note he did not have any role besides the archive footage.
Wrestlers openly talked about Vince, but only the Vince that was at WrestleMania 9 type of deal. Right. And I hope it gets back to that. I hope that's what I noticed. There's a lot of Vince McMahon in it, and rightfully so. He was in the midst of, he was running the company at the time. But they're not putting over McMahon by any means with his charges or anything, but I was sitting there thinking, this has got to be the first show WWE's produced since all that stuff went down.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
I think, if not, one of the first, in my opinion. But let us know if you've seen it, what you think. I'd like to know what the fans out there have to think because, I was 12 going on 13 at the time. So I was super pumped for that WrestleMania. Being able to watch it, rewind it, see things over and over again was such a cool thing. And that's something kids today will never experience and never have that joy. But I'm glad we got to experience here. Grew up in the 80s. So
yeah,
show my age a little bit here. But that was such a fun time. But otherwise, any more thoughts on the documentary?
No, I think
before we move on.
I think if we go any further, we're going to spoil a lot of it for people. And I don't want to do
that. Yeah, I don't want to do that either. There's definitely some cool things in there that everybody should check out, everybody should see. But no, absolutely, check it out. It gets my approval. Like I said, I'm on my third time watching it. So I think even if you're not a fan of WrestleMania 9, the storylines or the people at that time, you'll still get something out of it and still enjoy it.
Yes. Nick, I think we should wrap up by talking about the one thing that we're not going to be focused a lot on this week in the world of wrestling, in the world of WWE in particular. We're going to focus on it, but, and I know that may be a sore spot for you because this is your bread and butter, this is your go-to, but I think we need to run down Stand and Deliver a little bit.
Okay.
We're going to cover it. We'll give you our full schedule here in just a couple minutes, but Stand and Deliver has a really stacked card in my opinion.
I think he does too. I think it does too.
I've got the card pulled up. There are some names missing, and I looked on the actual wiki page that I have open. Not sure who some of the participants in the qualifying matches for a couple of these are. It doesn't list the entire roster of the tag teams that are going to be in the gauntlet.
Correct. There are a couple matches still happening on this upcoming NXT to finalize those matches. So, yep, I got you.
But
How many matches on the card, CZ?
5.
Wow. NXT, I think, was doing this before the main card was doing this, CZ. And that's going like 5 or 6 matches, and that's it. And you go into that, you're like, what? But it's perfect. It really is.
Yes.
It really is. Like, you don't want to sit there for 6 hours. So it is. It's really perfect. So go ahead, fire away. I am excited to hear this card because there's a lot going on.
Okay. We're going to start with the NXT Women's North American Championship.
Okay.
First of all, the North American Championship, this is something that has been known on the men's side of things for them to do usually around WrestleMania weekend. And that is a ladder match with that title involved. Now it's the women's turn to climb the ladder. Climb the ladder, kid. Make yourself famous, as JR would say. Pardon me. In that match currently,
What match was that from?
Jeff Hardy and Undertaker ladder match
On Raw.
On Raw.
That's right. Thank you.
Currently in the match is Zarya, Kaylani Jordan, Izzy Dame, and Sol Ruka. One more name to be added following a qualifier on Tuesday.
Okay.
As we record.
Okay.
I'm looking at the 4 that are in there right now. I'll be honest, I'm kind of pulling for Sol Ruka.
Okay.
I think she has a unique take. I love that flipping.
Can you say the names? Can you say the names one more time, please?
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
Get on it now. No.
That's
That's the most we've ever really thought.
We have Zarya.
Okay. Zarya and Sol Ruka are buddies.
Right.
Okay. Who else?
Kaylani Jordan.
Okay. Former NXT Women's North American Champion.
And
Or-
Izzy Dame.
North American Champion.
Yes.
Yeah, Izzy. Okay. Yeah, we'll find out the 5th. I have no doubts that they'll do something amazing. Anybody who watches this show knows I'm kind of an NXT homer, but they really don't go out there and stink it up.
No, not at all.
What they're putting out there, even if they're not having a great night, it's still good. So yeah, this match, I don't have a pick. I don't have anyone I'm rooting for, just excited for it.
I think it's going to be a really good match. And you go into any ladder match like this, and you look at it for 2 things: who's going to come out with the win, who's going to take the biggest bump,
Right.
who's going to be the guy, who's going to be the star, the woman that takes that makes everybody say, "Holy shit!"
Correct me, but I believe Stand and Deliver starts at like noon or 1 our time.
Let me look and see if the wiki has.
I gotta imagine that's the first match of WrestleMania week.
1 p.m. Eastern time, so noon our time.
Noon our time. I gotta imagine that's what kicks off the show on WrestleMania Saturday.
I would have to say so.
But I'm excited for it. I am definitely excited for it. Okay.
I mean, I'll be honest. Any of these 5 matches could kick off the show.
Absolutely.
They're all that good. This is a stacked card.
It's a fun card. Let's go ahead to. Unless you got anything more to add to this ladder match, I want to know. Let's talk about the rest of this card.
Let's talk about the other women's title match. Stephanie Vaquer, holder of the NXT Women's Championship, former NXT North American Women's North American Championship, vacated that title so others could have a chance. The build to this, Ava, who do you want to face? Who do you want to face? I want them all.
She's a fighting champion.
She is.
She's a fighting champion, CZ.
This is some star power.
I think she's the best on the roster right now.
I don't know that I can disagree with that.
And I've thought that ever since she came.
So, star power in this match. You've got Vaquer defending against Julia,
Julia,
Jordan Grace,
Jordan Grace,
Jada Parker.
Jada Parker.
Now, for me, the person that is the odd man out is Jada Parker. I think she's good. I don't know if she's
Odd man out, yes, but as I'll say in another match, she's there for a reason.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Probably going to take the fall. Probably not the favorite. Probably there maybe to shock the world. We'll see. But Jada Parker is the least established name of these four that you named off. So they're trying to bring her along, and she's in there with three that are really good, and hopefully she can, keep up with them and become, the next big person in the NXT in that women's division.
For sure. This is going to be a fun Fatal 4. We talked about this sometime in the last year where they did a Fatal 4-way women's match and a triple threat men's match.
Well, I'm glad you're bringing this up, CZ, because after NXT the other night, and after what's going on in the main card, are we having too many multi-person matches this weekend?
Awesome. At least this one means something.
Agreed. I know why they do it. It's because spots are limited.
Yes.
Time is limited. Time is precious. Correct?
Correct.
And in doing that, you've got to feature as much as your talent as you can. You got to keep your talent happy. So I see why they do it. I may not always agree with it or like it, but this one at least has a purpose.
As does what will likely be the main event. We'll get to that in a bit.
Yep.
Match that is still up in the air to be decided as to who the opponents are. The tag team champions, Fraxium, long-standing NXT tag team champions, two-time champions. They've flirted with breaking up, but they always stay strong together. They will face the winner of a gauntlet match, a tag team gauntlet match that I believe is also this Tuesday.
Yep, we will not know who they face until Tuesday night, so we can't break it down for you, man. I don't know who I want it to be. I just want the best possible match. Fraxium, they're fun to watch. I hope they retain, just because I want this thing to continue. For WWE, they're the best tag team of the first quarter. If you want to take a look at things, CZ.
Yeah.
In the WWE side of things, and the Hurt Syndicate's the number one tag team on the other side.
We heard
in
people.
AEW. We heard people. But no, this is a big show for Fraxium. Big time for them to be showcased, and like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing who they take on at Stand and Deliver.
Because they always, no pun intended, stand and deliver.
They do. They absolutely do.
Another match we can't quite break down. Ricky Starks, the current men's North American champion.
Ricky who?
I'm sorry, Ricky Saints. My apologies.
Thank you.
Ricky. He changed his name, which...
That's neither here nor there. We're not
Neither
talking
here nor
about
there.
that. We're not talking about that.
But he faces the winner of a Fatal 4-way, and Nick, I did not pull this up. Do you know the participants of the Fatal 4-way? I know Ethan Page.
You know what, that match? I do not. I do not. Let me look. You talk. I'm going to look for an NXT preview that's coming up.
Okay, you do that. I'll let you do that. I'll close my phone, or I'll go back to the card.
Okay.
So here's what I love. You've got two people that have come into NXT from the other side, from the dark side, if you will, or not. Love or hate AEW. They're the competition. They have come in, both Ethan Page and Ricky Saints, like a house on fire. Within months, maybe even a month, they both have won a championship.
Right.
Ethan Page with the NXT championship, Saints with the North American championship. These two, I really kind of hope that's who we end up with, Page and Saints, because that's the match to me. You've got two former AEW guys trying to prove themselves in NXT.
Yep.
And both of them have made great strides to prove themselves in NXT, but this will set one of them apart. If I were booking it, that's who I'd have in the match. I can't say enough. I have loved Ricky Saints from the beginning. The Revolution has always been televised for me.
Has been and always will be
Yes.
televised for you. Okay.
I mean, he was in a world championship match before MJF lost the title. And then they just kind of swept him aside. How do you do that to someone? It's we can go. I could talk. We're not here to talk about AEW, so I could go on and on about my problems there. I'm not going to. They're handling him right. They're bringing him in. They're giving him a championship. They're giving him a good spotlight. And I'm anxious to see who he faces. But if it's me, it's Ethan Page. But who else is in that match now?
I could not find who else is in that match.
Shame on you.
I know. I hope Ethan Page wins, so it is Ethan Page.
I hope so too.
We'll find out.
Leave it in the comments, which we will be checking later. Like we said, we're recording this a little early.
You don't think WrestleMania week starts until the weekend? I mean, we got Raw, the go home on Monday night, and now we've got must-see TV on Tuesdays with NXT.
Yes.
That will finish out this card. I believe there's one more match to discuss.
Oh, there has to be one more match to discuss. We can't get away and not talk about the ruler.
No.
Triple threat match. Javon Evans, who is coming into his own, don't get me wrong, but he is there to take the fall. I agree with you said that earlier about Jada Parker. I kind of agree with that. He's there to take the fall.
Okay.
But we're going to whoop that Trick, and we're going to see who comes out. Is it going to be Trick Williams, or is it going to be Obafemi who walks away with the title?
We shall see. I am looking forward to it. In past years, I haven't been able to watch Stand and Deliver live, but knock on wood here, ting, 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 that I'll be able to watch it live this year. I'm excited for that match. And that's been a pretty good feud over on the CW and NXT land, that main event.
And I'm not dogging Javon Evans by any means.
I know you're not.
There's a reason he's in this match.
Oh, I know. I know you're not. But a lot of people out there were probably in the same boat as you. Why is he in this match? That's why he's in this match, and he's going to have his moments.
Yeah. He's going to get a little shine.
So stay tuned for that. Coming up this week, we've got a busy week, of course. A lot of WrestleMania action going on. Our next show, we will come to you live and in living color on Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock. Tune in where you find us here, Card Subject to Change.
Looking forward to that. It's the second year that we have done a WrestleMania panel show. Do we want to tell who the guests are?
Absolutely. Let's tell them who's who. A virtual list of who's who of the Card Subject to Change world.
So
let's see if I can remember all of them.
We have 5 solidified spots. Nick and I filled 2 of them.
Yep. Is it Brandon the Shank Eubanks?
You got it. Yes, sir.
Is it Timothy Regal?
Yes.
Is it Joe the Show Winkle?
Joe the Show Winkle.
All right. No, we are going to have a good time. We are going to talk about all things WrestleMania. That's where we'll break down the card both nights, talk about matches, talk about theories, what should be on this, what should be. That'll be our All Things WrestleMania show. And there's a WrestleMania panel show, and that will be airing live Wednesday at 7 p.m. Tune in where you can find us, okay?
And I will throw this out there. I did an extended invite to the tribal chief to fill out, make it an even 6. Whether he shows up or not, he does whatever the hell he wants.
He's a busy man.
I'm calling you out, DJ.
He's a busy man, and we understand that. So I get it. Regardless, not throwing anybody under the bus. We're not. I mean, if he can make it, great. I'd love to have him.
Yeah.
But our next show after that Wednesday night WrestleMania panel will be on Saturday evening live. Our immediate reacts to night 1 will be myself, Never Wrong Nick Bull, the Wizard CZ, and it'll be Joe the Show Winkle here, filling this seat and filling your ears with ooey gooey wrestling goodness.
Yes.
A lot to talk about for sure. We'll be talking about night 1 and what's going down, what happened, reacts for sure. Looking forward to that. And then we will come to you not next Sunday.
No.
But on Tuesday.
The following.
At 7 p.m. To break down night 2 of Mania and the night after Raw. And we will be joined You're pushing me to the test here.
Are
Are we joined? Are we joined by?
I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag. This is my surprise here.
Yeah, you're doing a good job here. This is my surprise. I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag. Yeah.
No, we have one of the pros from Absolute Pro Wrestling joining us on the
Absolutely.
panel show. We have the other pro of Absolute Pro Wrestling, Mr. Jason Prentice, joining us the following Tuesday for our Night 2 and Raw After recap and reaction show.
Looking forward to it. It's going to be great. Pace yourselves. It's a long week of wrestling. That's why we're going to get out of here right now. Thank you so much for joining us. There will not be a kickout this week due to all the Mania festivities. It is currently on hiatus, as CZ likes to say. I like that term.
Likely will stay on hiatus next week as well, since we have the Tuesday reaction show. Not going to put a lot. I'm not going to throw everything at you after a busy week. We'll return with the kickout the following Wednesday, talking about all things wrestling in our short form show. I'll let one other thing slide here or slip here. After WrestleMania, the Sunday following all this extravaganza, WWST is doing another draft. Not official yet, but we're going to do our own draft.
We are?
We are.
Oh, okay.
We talked about this.
I know. I'm just.
We're going to be joined again by our good friend Joe the Show Winkle, and this time that we're holding him to his word. The tribal chief DJ Jarvis is going to join us. It's going to be DJ and Joe against me and Never Wrong Nick Bull as we draft the best shows possible in the WWE.
Ooh, I like it. Looking forward to that for sure. There's so much wrestling going on this week, and we're so glad to be a part. However you tune in when we do this live, or if you go back and listen to us, see us at the show, or just follow along, we appreciate it. All the support helps. Reach out, let us know. We love to talk wrestling with fans. We're fans just like you, and we're looking forward to this week just as much as everybody else here.
Yes.
So we'll see you next on Wednesday for the WrestleMania panel show. That's all I got to say, partner.
Yeah, and we'll wrap it up here for my co-host and partner in crime, one half of the 4-frequency tag team champions of the world, Never Wrong Nick Bull. I am the Wizard CZ. This has been Card Subject to Change. We will see you Wednesday for the panel show. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week.
This has been a 4-Frequency Sake Podcast Network production. For more great content, subscribe to 4-Frequency Sake on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.